Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everybody, and welcome to Pangolin, the conservation podcast. I'm your host, Jack Baker, and welcome to the show dedicated to amplifying the interesting, the inspiring, but the underappreciated and underacknowledged conservation stories. The stories that inspire me, and I hope will inspire you too. Happy New Year! Let's start with that. Happy New Year. This is, of course, our New Year's special. Thank you so much for spending the whole year with us here at Pangolin. We could not be more grateful. To celebrate what has been a full year of podcasting and a full year of conservation, we are going to look back on 2021 and then we are going to look forward to 2022. But we're not going to do that alone. I've done that enough. I've done enough episodes by myself. Don't like it. So we are going to be joined for this episode by a star, by a repeat guest who has joined us many times before, but whose input and insights are always welcome and always valued. She is back to complete her trilogy of episodes for 2021. First, we had For the Love of Dog, then we had The Joy of Conservation, and now we have our New Year's special with the lovely Tasnia Khandaker Prova. She is this she is just the best. The best. And I really hope you enjoy listening to more of her insights about conservation. We talk about elephants, we talk about Cher, we talk about all sorts of interesting things. We start off by going through our years personally and our successes. We then go into the conservation successes of 2021, and then we look forward to 2022 and we talk about our New Year's resolutions, what we're going to do differently, and how we're going to be our most best eco-friendly, eco-conscious selves in the new year. So it's a really good chat and a nice way to wrap up the year. I really hope you enjoy. Of course, I'll be back at the end to wish you all a happy and healthy new year. But for now, thank you so much for listening, and I really hope you enjoy today's interview with the lovely, the fantastic, the wonderful Tasnia Khandaker Prova. Welcome back to the show. I am now joined once again, back by popular demand. She definitely didn't tell me to say that. The wonderful Tasnia. Tasnia.
Wow, you messed
Too
up
many.
my name? I'm a celebrity?
I put too many syllables in. Tasnia. Tasnia.
Tasnini.
Tasnia. Khandaker Prova. I can't believe I messed up the first name. The first name is the
Yeah, like the
easy bit.
last name I remember when we graduated and I was like, I felt bad for the person trying to pronounce my name. It's
Mhm.
like, just get through with it. Like, I get it. I know you mean me. Congratulate me and move on. But yeah,
Oh yes,
must be so cool having like Baker as your last name. Like, who
mhm.
gets that wrong?
I mean, I've been called. Well, no one gets Baker, but I've had Jake. I've had all sorts of
Right,
just things that aren't my name. I mean, it's a very like, in terms of
right.
complaining about names, I definitely have no leg to stand on, but that's fine. Um, so yes, after that fantastic introduction, as you can tell, I am back with Tasnia. She is here. We are going to discuss. It's kind of our year in review episode. We're going to look back on the year that's just been. We're going to talk about our New Year's resolutions and what has just what we're looking forward to in 2022 because it can't be any worse than 2021. So
Oh
we
my
are.
God. Let's not jinx this. Let's really not.
No, no. So
Hopefully, yes. 2022, come
yes.
through.
So we're going to be talking about all our favorite animal stories. We're going to be talking about our years. We're going to be talking about all sorts of positive news for 2021 and kind of looking forward to 2022. So to get us started, I guess people have probably listened to the two previous episodes you've been on, Tasnia. But if you want to reintroduce yourself, anything exciting going on in your life at the moment that you'd like to tell the listeners about?
Oh, my life is just full of excitement. No, not really. But I am Tasnia Khandaker. Yes, that's how my name is pronounced. I'm the programs director at Opharano, Bangladesh Animal Welfare Foundation. We work with street dogs in the country. And I like, I think, I know I'm not supposed to say that as an animal person, but I like dogs more than I like cats. and it's just a thing. I'm sorry. Don't come for me. I feel like I just dogs are my standard, and that's how I treat every other living being. Like I remember 2 months ago, a human child. I'm sorry, people have noted that I say it very weirdly, like a human
Human
child, but like a child walked up to me, and I started scratching his head because I think I just didn't know, like my brain just didn't know. Like I wanted to make him feel loved, and I just didn't know what else to do. And it's just, oh my God, it's so shameful. But yeah, dogs are my standard. Cats are beautiful too. I feel like someone needs to teach me the right way to pet a cat. Um, I've just been with cats that need a lot of love. So they've just settled for whatever I gave them. But yeah, I need to learn.
That is,
That's a great introduction.
I was gonna say that is quite the introduction. I feel like we have really set the bar low for this one because we are
Yes,
just all over the. We're
as
losing
was
our
this
minds.
year. Let's be honest.
Good
Also, guys,
segue.
Jack Baker has told me repeatedly that we're going to try and stay positive. And I feel
Hmm.
like this is me trying to fake positivity, like at the most. But just for the sake of Jack, but this year, I feel like let's take a moment to appreciate this year ending, honestly, because
Yes,
yay.
a moment of silence for
Oh,
2021.
oh my God, what a year. What a year. We've made it. If you're listening, you're alive. So that's a positive. I'm happy for you. We're gonna be we're gonna move on to next year and we're gonna do great things, okay? The things that we didn't do this year.
Yeah,
2022 is our year. Okay?
I
Thank you.
love that manifesto to get started, and I think
Yes.
a perfect introduction to you, to me, to the chaos that will be that was 2021. But to get started, let's look back. What were your highlights of 2021? Is there anything in your mind that stands out as something you're proud of, or something that kind of yeah, just made you feel excited, happy this year?
um I think this year particularly just gave me a very unique opportunity to notice things that didn't notice before,
Hmm.
in the people that have been in my life for a long time, in animals that have been around me for a long time, because sort of things slowed down this year. And I know that for a lot of people it didn't, and my heart goes out to them. It's ridiculous how we function as a society, but um, I feel like for me to reintroduce myself to animals around my house and sort of knowing their pattern because everything sort of slowed down, that's like one of my like precious moments that I hold on to. um I think one of my favorite days was we have pigeons in our household, which is something that's very common in Bangladesh. A lot of people have pigeons as pets, but my father, well, my parents believe that they should, be able to fly and do their thing. So they just do their thing on our rooftop. And I was there trying to read a book, and they were feeding, and then there were other birds that came on and like ate their food. And I think that moment of like so many different birds or so many different beings just existing and coexisting, and the fact that my family had some part to play in making sure that they were fed and they were happy just made me feel like, I don't know, so grateful to be a part of this, to be a part of my family, to be a part of today, really, this year where more animals are being appreciated. People are starting to know and understand their importance at a mainstream level. And yeah, so I
I
think very poetic answer, but like happy in the small moments. Yes.
Mhm. That's a good answer, and I think it's similar. It reminded me of, I think, one of my happiest moments of 2021 was when I saw a hedgehog in my garden for the first time, which seems like
Oh.
such a little thing, but it was just before like I was getting ready to go to bed. I like stood up, looked out the front window, and saw something move and assumed it was kind of we've seen like rabbits and stuff around our house
Right.
before. So I was like, oh, it'll just be one of those. And then I like looked closer and there was this little hedgehog just like scurrying across the
Oh,
grass. And it was like
bless.
this little moment of I've never seen one in my garden before, and it's a nice little moment of happiness. Um
Absolutely, yeah. I
mhm,
feel like I genuinely appreciate these moments. Like if we didn't have, like if life hadn't slowed down, I don't think we'd have the time to look look even, at something so obvious in front of us.
yes.
So I'm grateful, really, really grateful to have had that opportunity.
Mhm. I think something else I want to mention for this year. There's a couple of things I'm grateful for, and were exciting highlights, and things that I didn't even kind of remember because I don't know if you're having the same issue as me. 2020 and 2021 have merged into one year for me, so it's kind of
Absolutely.
hard. But something that happened at this very start of this year, the podcast was reviewed by BBC Wildlife Magazine,
Oh
which
my
I'd forgotten
God,
happened
yes.
this year. I got to go to Chester Zoo and do the youth symposium. We have released three series now. This is our kind of Christmas specials for that. So there's all these these things that have happened in the last year, and I think everyone would benefit if you sit down and actually think about what you've done, even if you've not been able to go
Yeah,
out. I think a lot of people have ticked a lot of like
yeah,
boxes of things that they've achieved, um,
yeah.
and
I'm
it's
so
really
proud
exciting.
of you, honestly.
Oh,
So, so, so proud of you always. Because I feel like your passion and the love for the work that you do really shows through whenever you're doing something. So I feel like it's just a joy from one person for another. Like you're doing something that you love. And I feel like everyone, and I really hope for a world where everyone can do this and, be happy. And this reminded me of, I think, ever since COVID, I've had I've struggled to celebrate my wins
hmm
because all the wins and losses sort of like you said, like the years merge into one, and all your ups and downs sort of merge into one. So the fact that I was a guest lecturer at the University of St. Andrews trying to talk about my dissertation, which talks about the refugee crisis in my country, um, for Rohingyas, and Asian elephant conservation, and the struggle and the impasse that both of these vulnerable communities face. And the fact that I got to talk about something I wrote, and there were people interested in knowing this, I don't know, it was a very surreal moment.
I
I'm
think it's
grateful.
an amazing, amazing, amazing moment. Given that like a year ago we just like graduated from there, so it seems strange that so quickly like you're
Absolutely.
lecturing in it's so fantastic. And I think at some point in the future we will have to have a full episode where I grill you on the dissertation because I'm really interested. Like it's so interesting to me. I love elephants. I love like it will be
Oh my
so
God, they're the best.
interesting to hear about something in depth that kind of you have
Oh,
researched and like.
absolutely. That's so sweet. And I feel like, okay, also, I have to be grateful for the people in my life, especially like friends and like you. I know we've gone through pre-COVID times, COVID times, and now I don't know what times we're in at the moment together. And I feel like, you checking up on me, and Ruth, um Leonie, like so many people, just like the best. Like I feel like we both found in St. Andrews people who genuinely want the best for the other person,
Mhm.
and it just resonates in how we communicate. And so I'm really grateful for that.
hmm And it's yeah, just continued into this year, and hopefully it will continue into next because we will
Yeah.
graduate in June 2022. That is will happen. I'm putting it out
Oh
into the
my
universe.
God.
Um,
Yes.
but I guess in terms of careers wise,
Mhm.
program what was it? Program officer, program
Director.
director. I wanted to say director, but I was like, I won't jumped a few levels.
Okay, this is where I get a lot of people are confused, and like a lot of people think, oh my God, director. Again, it's a grassroots NGO, it's a small NGO, and like I'm the only person other than my CEO and director of the entire organization. I'm the I'm the second person with um, the experience. And obviously, there are vets who've been working there for years. And so the jump was not as steep as you would have it in like other organizations. It's just like I feel like my boss just one day said, "So you're a programs director now," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, okay, I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna let people know."
Hmm. Get that
But
on the
so
LinkedIn.
yes, yes. And again, I feel like a lot of people assume like, "Oh my God, you're like it's just a director." The word sort of adds a lot of value. But again, it's the same thing. It's more or less the same work and or more or less essentially focusing on expanding the programs. But again, work slow given COVID, people, and especially working with the government is very, very taxing. Not because that some people don't want to help, it's just that they don't have the capacity to help in the sort of way that they would have if this crisis wasn't a daily thing. So but it's still going on. The fight is still going on strong, and we're just hoping that it never ends,
Hmm.
or that it ends, but on a good note. Like we don't need to be there anymore. I feel like my director says the same thing. That the goal for Operono to exist is for it not to have to exist one day,
Hmm.
and I genuinely that's what I would want
I
as
think that's
well.
the goal of all conservation should be that we
Absolutely,
don't
yeah,
have to
yeah,
be
yeah,
there anymore. Like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
and it's just we find this perfect
yeah.
circle. I almost said circle of like the circle of life from the throwing it back to our last episode where you quiz me on the Lion King. Uh, no, that's yeah a really good I think message, and I think that kind of message and positivity. And speaking of conservation organisation, transitions us very nicely onto our next topic. We've
Mhm.
looked back at our years, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the conservation successes of the last year that perhaps we haven't covered on the podcast, but like just to reflect on the positive thing, because I think a lot of the time in the news it's framed as sad, destruction, bad, negative.
Right,
And if
yeah.
you do that all the time, you just
It's
lose
very,
motivation.
very hard.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, so I think it's important we reflect on some of the good things that have happened this year. So I don't know if I have a huge list of things that I have written down as ideas for things to mention, but I don't know. Did you have any conservation stories of the last year that stood out to you?
I feel like ever since my dissertation, I've paid a lot more attention to elephants and what's happening in that
Hmm.
realm. And I talked about this particular elephant as well in my paper. And his name was Coven. And he was deemed the loneliest elephant in the world. And he was in Pakistan. And it was so, I don't know, the story still is so powerful and it still resonates with me. um the Cher, the singer Cher, got a word of what's happening, and she brought a lot of attention to the issue there. And the High Court, Islamabad High Court, I think it was, that ruled in the favor of appreciating that Coven is a sentient being that deserves to have a better life than the one that he's being subjected to. And now Coven has moved countries to, and he's now in Cambodia. And then there's like this whole like internet, like YouTube pages, like follow him around and post like tiny updates, like a Coven is sleeping now, or Coven making friends now, or Coven making contact with a first elephant in a very long time. And like these are very tiny videos or like tiny moments of Coven's life, but I feel like everybody who's watching, like they understand how significant it is. And I think it's just the power of of a South Asian high court. And you when you we talk about conservation, we always sort of um, I feel like there's a narrative, and there's a narrative in like an like extended development practice as well, where there is the global south and the west, and who does what better, and etc etc. But the fact that um a, a high court ruled in the favor of an elephant, it just gives me so much hope, that it is what it takes. Like, you keep on fighting the good fight, and you'll win someday. And so, yeah, go Coven.
I had forgot. I'm so glad you brought that up. The fact that we got Cher into the podcast, I think that's the win of 2021 for
I
me.
know,
That
I know. I saw your face like glow up because you just share. Well,
I
yeah,
love.
exactly. Like, okay, it's a lot of I feel like it's a point of contention, or a lot of people have opinions about, like, having celebrities as goodwill ambassadors for refugees, or a lot of development work, really. I think we sat in class trying to argue the pros and cons of it, as well. But and sometimes I think, like, there are a lot of cons, to be honest. But honestly, there is, like, if you find a person powerful enough and willing enough to fight for a cause, it does change a lot of movement around the cause. So I'm really, really, like, power to share.
Mhm. And
Not
I
that she needs me to say it.
we worship Cher. Cher is the I yes, love Cher. Loved Cher, love elephants, loved that whole storyline, and loved seeing just the success. It was so it just yeah, it was one of those
So wholesome.
stories that just brought a smile to your face whenever you saw it pop up on the news.
Absolutely, yeah.
And yeah, and I think yeah. I mean
And
there are some
again, like, changing the narrative of, like, oh, just because the animal's alive doesn't mean, oh, that's it, that's good, that's
Mhm,
great, now we've done a great job. A lot of people outside of our field, like, tend to think like that.
mhm,
um and so, just appreciating, of course, you can't live a life on your own, suffering the way you are. It was so wholesome.
mhm. That was fantastic and loved it. And
Your
yeah,
stories, please. Yes, please,
oh,
dying to hear.
I no, I'm glad that you. I want to just talk about Cher and an elephant. That's a great start. um, so the first of my stories was more a personal updates from my local conservation organisation, the one that I work with, the Royal Zoological Society of Scotland. I had such a good year watching them thrive and change and things happen. We had baby pygmy hippo Amara,
Hmm.
the most beautiful, cute thing. We had
Oh,
giraffes arrive at Edinburgh Zoo in collaboration with the Giraffe Conservation Foundation. Um, we've had sloths arrive, and those all just made me happy. And I think those are good
oh,
conservation
bless.
moves because I think, yeah, when animals are kept in collections by really responsible, effective
Right.
conservation organizations, it is a
Hmm.
fantastic way of communicating things to the public. And I think, and
Yeah.
I've seen so many people inspired by these amazing things on a personal kind of level. So that was my kind of personal one. I also found an article which I think everybody should look up by I've written his name down, Joe McCarthy, and it's on Global Citizen, and I'll put a link for it in the episode. And it's kind of conservation wins of 2021, which was a really nice thing. And it's I couldn't find a similar I struggled to find similar articles elsewhere. So this is a nice kind of conclusion.
Bless.
And he makes several points throughout, and I think the one there's a little bit I wanted to read because I think it's really encouraging. So it starts kind of by summing up that there has been challenges throughout the year, and then he goes on to talk about how there has been positive comebacks of animals as well. And so Joe wrote, "Let me do my best reading voice. We'll see how I get on. I will stumble with every word, but we'll see how we get
Okay.
on." But there are positive trends happening worldwide. Nepal is on track to double its wild tiger population by 2022. Gorilla populations are rebounding in sub Saharan Africa, and jaguars are returning to forested areas of Colombia. The Iberian lynx has bounced back from near extinction. A population of endangered monkeys in Vietnam has quadrupled since 2000, and endangered gharials have returned to the Ganges River. Wolves have surged back to life throughout Europe, a jaguar corridor is under development across the Amazon, and an endangered mountain gazelle made a comeback on the war torn border of Turkey and Syria. China, meanwhile, there's so many good things. I'm so happy. But
Yeah.
he didn't write that. That's me adding my context. Then, China, meanwhile, is creating a national park to guard its giant pandas, which have finally been removed from the endangered species list. and 7 Tasmanian devil babies were born in semi wild conditions for the first time in 3,000 years. A restored island in the US became an abundant breeding ground for various threatened bird species, while removing invasive predators from a Polynesian island allowed endangered birds to recover. And that's just some of the like that is one paragraph of the article, and it's so good because
Oh, bless.
all of these animals. I like how he highlights the kind of charismatic megafauna that you have that people love, like the pandas and the tigers, but highlighting other things like the gharials, which are maybe less people might know less
Right,
about,
yeah.
the lynx, and birds and all sorts of things. Really, really interesting story. He also talks in the article about community involvement in conservation, all other topics, and I think yeah, stories like that just made me feel good. Was there, I don't know, was there one particular in that list that made you smile the most that you enjoyed?
Oh, the Tasmanian devils,
Mhm.
because I that was my nickname for a bit by someone, but because Tasnia, like they were really you, they couldn't pronounce my name right, but it's just it's so nice. I feel like I was reading Factfulness a few yesterday. Wow, yeah, my idea of like time is completely distorted, but I was reading the book and it talked about how we like as a society are inclined to always um uh, take in the negative and retain the negative, and even like someone could essentially point out that the world is getting better and would still we still have this perception like no, that can't be true. um and so just hearing, like, I feel like even for conservation workers, when something isn't working out um in our own field, or if something didn't pan out in our meetings or our targets, or it's very easy to get wrapped up into that, and so reminding ourselves that conservation as a whole is sort of is people are still working, people are working hard, and we're making improvements, and it's important for us to remember that. So yeah, thank you for that bit, and thank you to Joe for writing that.
Yeah, it was a really nice article, and I think yeah, that's the important thing. I think for me is that the show is designed. We're here to talk about underappreciated conservation stories, and I think an underappreciated thing about conservation is that it's inherently good and positive, and it should
Right, yeah,
remain.
absolutely.
While we see numbers declining, it should remain a positive thing, and we should try to keep it as
Yeah,
lighthearted sometimes, and reflect on the successes as well.
yeah,
Um, I do have other articles. Well, I have one more other article to read, and then I have a resource that I'd like to point out for people who love conservation and being positive. So, the second thing that I wanted to highlight was the new Big Five, and I don't know if you heard about this,
no,
but the new Big Five, basically, in August this year, there was, well, traditionally the Big Five were the animals you'd go to Africa to hunt, and so it would be things.
right,
I think
yeah,
they are the elephant, rhino, leopard, Cape buffalo, and lion were the kind of Big Five that people would go and hunt. But work of the Big Five, there's the new Big Five project going on, and what they're trying to do is refocus it on five animals for photographers to take pictures of and kind of snap images of, which I think is
bless.
a much nicer
Right.
modern interpretation of it. And I think that
Hmm.
put a smile on my face. And again, it kind of highlights five big keystone important species. Yes, I pulled an article from Conservation Optimism about it, and yeah, they talk. The new big five are lions and tigers, polar bears, gorillas, and who's the last one? Elephants. That's what it was. Elephants. Elephants get to stay on the list. That's a good thing.
Yes.
Which it's all just kind of positive things, and reframing this idea of you have to shoot something to kind of collect it. You can't, like, taking a photograph and a memory
Yeah,
is
absolutely. Yeah.
sometimes just as magical. And yeah, I've gotten a lot more into wildlife. But I mean, I'm not good at it yet, but I'm getting
Yeah.
more into wildlife photography this year, and I think that's something that it's a nice target to kind of have, and a nice kind of new reframing of what would classically be a negative and bad term. And so that was a positive story I liked. Um,
Right.
I don't know.
I it wouldn't be a Tasnia Jack episode without us mentioning Fatima. I just want to say, like, like, I love watching her Instagram and like just like
Mhm.
the birds. She's such a good photographer.
Hmm.
Even when like I can't see the bird's face, it's a beautiful, beautiful shot. And yeah, I feel like seeing her and like obviously your photography on your page is just some of my favorite stuff.
Thank you.
Um, and so it yeah, photography and like making an audience familiarize um to be able to for sorry, I don't know English for a second, but for the audience to like be able to tell like, oh, tell species apart or like certain animals apart, even that, uh, simply by looking at certain pictures is it's such a teaching tool.
And it's, yeah, a picture can introduce you to a species, and you might not remember its name, but you'll remember what it looks like and maybe be inspired by it. And it's just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
a nice, positive, just
So
great
cute.
thing. Yeah.
Hmm.
So something maybe, I feel like we're going to talk about our New Year's resolution. I might have to change mine to just be take more photos. But
Oh my God, I
we'll get
shouldn't. I
there in a
still
second.
have like 40,000 pictures that I have to clean from my phone.
Mhm.
But oh my God, that is a whole different podcast episode.
Yep.
But
Thank you
yeah.
for iCloud and saving a number of
Yeah.
things, because otherwise I would need about 12 phones. Uh, but yes, I guess the final thing I want to mention before we move on to our own resolutions and what we're looking forward to next year, is
Hmm.
a resource that when we were at the Chester Youth Symposium, me and my friend Jodie, we went down and we discussed. We went into a workshop that was with Conservation Optimism India and a presentation by someone from Conservation Optimism, Julia, and it was fantastic. And I had heard of it before, but we've never highlighted or mentioned it here. And I think thinking about it, when we got to the end of year recap, I wanted to highlight a resource that maybe when we were on our off seasons or whenever you're just needing a bit of a boost on conservation. Conservation Optimism is a fantastic resource. They're a website that has just kind of highlights the positive success stories of conservation. And every week they put out a blog post that is 7 stories of optimism from the week. So it's really fantastic. It's really, really fantastic. And like,
Wow.
yeah, I looked through just the last few weeks in preparation, and they've got things like stories about manatees recovering in the Amazon. You've got stories about rhinos being flown from South Africa to Rwanda. There's a wild stories about China's wild camel population, highlighting things, all
Wow.
sorts of, yeah, diverse things, but just positive, nice stories. So if you're
Yeah.
ever in down in the dumps about conservation, or you're needing inspired or reminded why conservation is fantastic and why you're doing it, Conservation Optimism is a real great resource. It's fantastic, fantastic, and I would
Sounds
recommend anyone
amazing.
take it out. Take it out, check it out. It's not a book. Don't go to the library and take it out. Don't tackle it. Take it out. Go and check out the website. It's a fantastic, fantastic resource. Um, yes, I don't know. Do you have anything? Do you have any? Where do you go when you need to smile about conservation, Tasnia? What do you think about? What is your
Oh my God, my
go-to?
street. Like my response is genuinely like walking out. Even today, I
Hmm.
walked and I didn't take a rickshaw, and I just I rem the fact that dogs on the streets just remember me. I love it. Like
Hmm.
the fact that I was wearing a hoodie and a mask and they still remember me and recognize me. It's just the best. Okay, I matter to them, so it's great. I'm having a like my life's great moment. And obviously like a lot of people like in conservation, street animals don't like, it's not about protecting them, they aren't going extinct, it's quite the opposite. But managing them is such a struggle because you don't want animals or anyone to be living on the street.
Hmm.
And I think every time the fact that they have so much love to give, it just humbles me every time, without fail. And it's just yeah, that's what I do. Like that's my go-to. Or I'd go upstairs and like I think again, this whole year has reminded me of like appreciating what's around me because of COVID. We've just been so restricted. And the fact that when we do have the privilege to go out, and do have the privilege to see beyond our own boundaries, that's one thing. And obviously do that and like be grateful for that. But like also so much just if we have the time, like the hedgehog in your backyard is just, it's right there. Like, take some moment to like appreciate that. Yeah.
Mhm. I love that. Yeah, it's a good way to just refresh and reset. And when you're used to being indoors, even if it's raining or cold or whatever, it's just going outside, getting some fresh air. You'll always
Uh-huh.
see something interesting out there, and yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good way to reconnect.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I love
And the
that.
more like more you learn, or more you take time to sort of, for nature to teach you, I feel like the desire to conserve it increases. Like, of
Hmm.
course, I want the same things. Like, I don't want the weather to get worse, or I want to be able to protect these animals. I want to, and by extension, other animals. And I feel like I've always used that measure of like taking one animal and how empathizing with one, and then just expanding. I want to protect you all. Yes.
Yeah.
Give me
Although,
all the money now.
says the girl who started this conversation with, "Dogs are my favorite," and I, it's the
That's
part.
like, that's still like, this is what I do. Like, um, so like if I was to work with other animals on the field, if I got that opportunity, I feel like I'd just tell them beforehand, like, I know I'm trying to pet you as if I like you're a dog, but I appreciate that you aren't, and I'm trying to learn. Okay, so be patient with me. So I hope the elephant doesn't get mad.
Well, that is an excellent transition because I think that could be one of your New Year's resolutions when we're discussing treat all animals equally. Can be
Oh,
one.
oh my goodness,
Uh,
yes.
looking forward to next year. Our next topic, we're going to talk about our New Year's resolutions, what we're going to do to be better and more eco-friendly and more great in the next year. So, do you want to start? What are your New Year's resolutions? What are you looking forward to in 2022? What are you going to change? What are you going to do?
My first resolution is that if I fail to maintain any of the other resolutions, I'm just gonna go easy on myself.
Hmm.
Or tell myself I can start January 1st is a construct, okay? So I'm just gonna I'm just gonna tell myself, I know it's March 10th, but it's January 1st for you, and you can start all over again.
Hmm.
Because genuinely, time, I feel like if the pandemic didn't teach you how time is just goes and continues, and so much is lost and so much is gained, and it's all about appreciation and gratefulness and hoping that things get better, and so much is out of our control. It's insane. And so I think one of my resolutions is also taking it one step at a time, one day at a time, keeping my mental health in check. I feel like your links for all the optimism, and all the we have done something great helps genuinely, because I feel like any development practitioner or conservation practitioner needs to remind themselves that good things are happening. It's okay. It's been a hard week, but we can do it. That, I think, also decolonizing sustainability in my head, because when I came back to Bangladesh, I feel like I came back with a narrative that I learned from textbooks,
Hmm.
mostly written by Western authors, and what sustainability means, and what not giving attention to it would mean for us. I remember one of the first times I went up to the rooftop, I saw that my mother had used like old, like used water bottles, like big ones, to plant like small, tiny plants in them, and
Hmm.
like she hung them. And so I looked at them and I'm like, that's such a good use. Like, you're just doing so much, and you aren't even consciously doing it to be like, oh, I'm just gonna do a sustainable thing, I'm gonna be a queen on Instagram. Actually, I bet my mother would be a queen on Instagram if I opened one for her. Maybe that's one of my wow resolutions.
Uh-huh.
But I think in that moment I realized so many of South Asian culture is embedded in sustainability,
Mhm.
and because it's not outright spoken about, because it's so normal in their day-to-day lives, saving materials, saving plastic, reusing something. um, and I used to think of it like, oh my god, my mom's just being, difficult, like, why do I have to you keep on using this, or like, etc., etc. And I feel like deep appreciation for traditions embedded in protecting um, the world around me. Um, a mom trying to leave out water or food for birds when it gets too hot, or saying hi to owls who've found a home next to our building. My mother wakes up and says hi to them, and it's the cutest thing in the world. I think genuinely taking time, and I want to write more about this, about decolonizing sustainability in my own home, because I don't have to follow a certain definition of it anymore. It's mine and my family's and my ancestors' legacies to hopefully I can take it, make it my own, and grow from there.
That sounded like the perfectly scripted. Like that was such a good answer to that question. Like I was sat here like in awe the whole time. Like, wow, yeah, like like the perfect answer. And I think there's stuff there that anyone could draw upon, even if they're kind of living somewhere else.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like it's a universal advice is just appreciate what's around you, do all these little tips and tricks that can make the world
Yeah.
a healthier place. And you mentioned so many with the kind of water bottles and the just putting just putting out water for birds or putting out things, and
Uh-huh.
you'll make nature more at home around you and make yourself more
Yeah.
kind of connected to it. And it's such a
And it
good
creates such a
message.
culture of kindness and compassion and constantly thinking beyond yourself. And I
Mhm.
think that's where conservation, like the heart of conservation, lies as well. Knowing that in helping others, you inherently will have a better life because we're all in this together. That I want to write more this year.
Mhm.
Wow, I'm doubtful at just as I'm saying this. I want to be more brave this year.
Mhm.
At the face of what how short a life can be, I just want to say goodbye to anxiety for a bit and like take more challenges. Even for conservation, I feel like when we look at conservation or when we look at certain sectors, like I'm the dog person and someone else is the something else person because they've been working for it for a long time. But I want to try new things. I want to do one sector and then learn from another and have the ability to go from director to intern if need be, because the goal is to learn. But that takes a lot of courage. You know why? Because capitalism is bad. Because it just does something to you and it tells you like this is the path you're supposed to take. No, this is the path. It's so jaded. I still remember at Operano received a received an email from a guy from Australia, and he decided to change his career. I think he was a chef, and I think he was like, no, I wanna give this up, and I wanna work in animal welfare. I have some expertise in working, or like I think he volunteered at a animal shelter, so he had some experience as a paravet. But he was like, can I join? I had to say we have no funding for you. I'm so sorry, but which is also sad. But the fact that yes, you can be 50 and change your path entirely. You can. It's never too late to realize this is where your heart belongs. And it can be shaky and scary. Absolutely. Even the thought is scaring me right now. But if not now, then when? Honestly.
That's a good message, and it's something that I tried to talk about in my anniversary special, which was based on my talk at Chester. Was like, who is around us to take our place once we're gone? We don't know. So
Yeah.
do what you want to do now. And even if your background isn't necessarily in science, which I think a lot of people think they have to be interested in science to do conservation,
Yeah.
that doesn't matter. Like,
Hmm.
you can do conservation if you're an artist or an author or an actor or just somebody who likes talking, somebody who, I don't know, anyone can be involved. And it's just,
Hmm.
yeah, putting yourself out there and having the confidence that your ideas and your concepts and things that you put out there are good and valid, and taking these risks is worthwhile. And even if you start off by doing it on the side as like an extra bonus thing,
Yeah.
any little bit is worthwhile. If you're too scared to go the full leap and kind of commit to something you don't know, like, yeah, just do like at the weekend, sit down and
Yeah.
maybe read something about conservation, or just create something positive, or post something on social media, or speak to somebody about, like, all these little things add up, and that's
Yeah.
a really good, nice.
Also a reminder of like if you have to, like of course there's going to be backlash when you want to like change fields or like start something new entirely or start a new organization that you feel like is doing the right thing. Because if you start like an associate or like an entry level job from, and if you're transitioning from like a mid level or senior level job from another organization, it's difficult.
Mhm.
Obviously, like so much to take in. And there's a lot of family pressure as well, especially in countries like Bangladesh, where a lot of other people have a lot of opinions on what you're doing. Um, it can be difficult. Just remember, first of all, capitalism is a farce. Second of all,
That's the quote. I'm gonna put that on Instagram in like an inspirational bubble. Capitalism is a farce. That's the one.
yes.
That's the.
Second of all, um, when you start out, a lot of people may say a lot of things and it might get to you. But as soon as you keep on doing your thing and you're happy, like these same people are going to be like, oh my God, you're so brave. Because that's how the world works. We criticize people, and then when it works, I'm like, wow, how did you do that though? So yeah, be that person. Or even if you fail, do it still. It's life.
Yeah,
We're just we're just chilling. Have you
yeah.
seen sloths? Be a sloth.
I love sloths. I love sloths. Be a sloth. That's the motto for
Be a
2022.
sloth.
That's
Yes.
the second quote. Capitalism is a farce. Be a sloth. Like, there is the quote for you. Um, like, you've been waiting for your inspirational Instagram moment. There's the one. No, it's such a good thing, and I think I agree with you on every point. I was going to try and make my own. I have like little goals for me that I set at the start of this year, that I'd like to climb Ben Nevis, and I never did that, but I will one day. I'll do that next year.
Yes.
Um, and
I think you're
just
just
all
waiting
of
for
these
me to
things
come
of
to
just
Scotland
positivity.
and then accompany you
Hmm.
on the ride and then just give up midway. I'm like, Jack, you're crazy. You go. I'm gonna take a picture from here.
I was gonna say, you're not a big walker, so this could
I'm
be a this could be a trouble. Um, there's, yeah, but yeah. So I
your
want to just
your
that.
resolutions, please.
Uh, I'd like to. I would like to read more, because I feel like I take time, and
Yes,
whenever I sit
absolutely.
down and read something, it's I really enjoy it, and I just don't make the time to read. I'd like to make time
Yeah.
to read and stop and learn more from other people and new perspectives and different perspectives than the ones that are traditionally handed to me.
Yeah.
So I'd like to do that. Um, Especially, you said you want to write more, so if you write a book or something, you send it my way. I'll.
Yes. I love how you just jump to a book. Here is me starting to write a page of I am writing again. I feel like I'm a person who works with deadlines as well. Like, oh, you wanted it by Monday. I'm going to start working on Sunday. Um, but I need to change that. I feel like there's just so much we need to learn. Yes, read more. That's a great one.
I Yes, and I would also like to write more. I have had an idea for a book for a very long time, and I would like to write it. And I am not going to say I'm going to do it this year. It might not happen for many years, but I want to start putting words on paper because it is based on
Yes.
personal experience, and so I would
Yes.
like to start writing things.
You're a really
Um,
good writer. And
my
so I can't already wait.
Would you like to know my concept? Please don't steal it
Yeah.
if you're listening. Or maybe I shouldn't say. Well, I tweeted it. So should probably. So my concept, I'll censor the title. The working title I have is "What the Fudge is a Banteng," And I would like to write a book about all of the questions similar to what the fudge is a banting, that I've been asked while working in zoos and aquariums,
Oh,
by
that's
people
so
in like a
cool.
funny, comical, like this is my experience of like day to day working in these places and like what happens behind the
I
scenes
love
and like
that.
all the kind of fun tales I have because there are many and there are many questions and yeah, if anyone doesn't know what a banting is, it would be informational for them. You could Google that though. That's a fun thing to learn. So I'd like to write
That's
more. I'd like to just try and be more creative, do
that's
more.
wonderful. I feel like I
Yeah,
already want to read it like
it
now.
it would be. I feel like it would be not great, but it would be a comical take on my
No,
experiences.
it would be great. I feel like it's one of those I remember this one class when we had to read a whole conservation book, and Ruth complained about it the entire time. Because again, the conservation isn't her thing. But I
Was that the one
remember
about badgers?
no, that was an entirely different class. She was just she was she was just upset like why am I here listening about badgers? And I kept on asking questions because I was like, oh my God, that's so interesting. And she was like, Tasnia, the class has ended. Can you stop? It was just the best thing. And like to be able to laugh at this is just so good. Like so cool. Um, but that sounds wonderful. Like honestly, I wanna read that. If I was to ever write a book or like that feels like so much more commitment. Bro, I'm the person who like on Netflix watches starts shows based on like how much time the episodes are. That's how I started Schitt's Creek. By the way, Schitt's Creek is the greatest show on the planet. That's a plug.
We've got
But
Cher and Schitt's Creek in one episode. That's a win for
oh
me.
my
Tit,
God, what an
tit.
episode.
Yeah.
But that was like 23 something minutes. I was like, okay, that's like low commitment. I can start. And then I ended up finishing the entire like 6 seasons
Mhm.
while I was writing my dissertation. So not great. But I think I would write about theology and like what it meant and means for me to be a Muslim who's working for animals and for working for dogs in a country where most people are Muslim. And like how nature and everything in it brought me closer to faith and God and I don't know. It's just something wholesome, but also something not like pointing fingers at anybody. Like, yes, you were the person who told me I was a bad Muslim for taking care of dogs. You're awful. I don't want to do
We,
that.
what we should do, we should team up, and instead of writing two books, because we'll never get them done, write one book where we have parallel experiences
Oh
of
my
our
God,
life
imagine.
in the life of a someone who is Muslim in Bangladesh working in conservation, and someone who is white and very basic um,
Oh my
in
God, the most
Scotland.
wonderful person ever who looks like sunshine and is in Scotland. And
Mhm.
yeah,
Just kind of the
oh my
voice that
God,
we all need to hear
imagine.
more of, the white man. That is exactly.
Imagine how cool like our picture would be at the end of the book where I pose for like this. These are the authors. We could have like a poster moment where we model like
Would you read that, fans of the podcast? Would you read
yes.
me and Tasnia's parallel stories? I think that would be. I actually think that would be quite interesting.
Oh my
Um,
God,
we can discuss
please.
this more off air so people don't steal our idea.
Please, if there are two comments about like yes, I would, we're gonna write it. Two comments. That
Oh,
is how excited I am. I just
that
need
would
a
be so
push.
good. I'd love that. I would love it so much. Because it would half my workload and half your workload, and that might actually get done. But okay, before we plan a novel instead of talking about New Year's resolutions, my final topic was I think we've given good advice, but if there's anybody out there who's looking to start the new year afresh and do something kind of want to make a New Year's resolution, what advice do we have for them? I wrote a couple of things down if you want me to start, and then you could jump in if you
Uh-huh.
want. Yeah. So my ideas are kind of things you can do looking forward to create your own New Year's resolution.
Hmm.
Don't just say things like, I want to travel. Do things with a purpose, do things that have meaning. because travel is a luxury that is not the most eco-friendly. So if you're going somewhere, make it for a purpose. Do something while you're there that is important and justifiable. And we do all need to relax now and again, but relax sometimes maybe in your own like place where it's not you're not having to get on a plane and do all sorts of things. Yeah. If you're going to travel, do travel. And I guess that goes with all resolutions. Do things with purpose, was my first thing. My
Hmm.
second thing was dietary changes. They're a very simple thing to do. Maybe eat less
Love
red
that.
meat, maybe eat or source sustainable products, eat less palm oil products, um, sustainable fish. The Marine Conservation Society has a good fish guide for the UK that
Yeah.
tells you about what you can and can't eat at certain times of year. So these small dietary changes type things can go a long way. Um, I wrote down things about recycling and sustainability, which we talked about already. And I also wrote down that we should consider when you're thinking about New Year's resolutions and personal growth, consider your own position and where you want to be and how it affects everyone around about you. So don't set goals that reinforce ideas like neocolonialism and reinforce
Right.
ideas that you are somehow better than anyone else. Do things
Right.
that
Absolutely.
will make you a better person and will maybe expand your world, but don't put yourself above others and don't push anybody else down to get where you want to go. And those were
Yeah.
my kind of top tips that I could
Oh,
think of.
lovely.
Yeah, those were
Lovely.
my ideas. Did you have any top tips for setting your own New Year's resolutions that you'd like to add?
I think just go small, but also like believe in yourself to do more. Um, that and like start with what's available. Like when wanted to cut out or like less eat less meat, I
Mhm.
think I was looking at all these fantastic recipes online and I was like, "Oh my god, that looks so cool. That looks so good." But they were also like required expensive ingredients with, and I didn't have enough knowledge to be like, oh, are they homegrown, are they sustainable, is it good for the environment for me to hike up the demand for these vegetables or these exotic whatever I'm looking for. Avocado here is exotic because that is sad, but again, I could do without avocado because we have to remind ourselves, like, why are we setting this as our goal?
Mhm.
um, is it for healthy eating? Is it for you really? The meat industry is batshit insane.
There's
Or
the third quote. There's the Instagram quote. Capitalism is a farce. Be a sloth. The meat industry is batshit insane. That those are the.
genuine, like, oh my god, it's so, and especially you remember, I have a friend, his name's Rubab, and he did the artwork with the chicken and fish and um, there was this piece on cows being slaughtered, and he sort of saw the world reversed, and so
Mhm.
cows were slaughtering humans, and essentially, and chickens were holding on to people upside down. It was something that's like the opposite of it is very common in Bangladesh. And I feel like it allowed people to stop and think like, oh my god, what if this was me? And genuinely, a chicken don't have superpowers to like not feel pain. It's not a thing. So be more kind. Like even if you don't have to, like, if like cutting it off completely is a big step, lessen it or understand, genuinely think about where your food came from. I think that's like the first good step. Also, again, if you want to achieve like grand big things and you feel like you need to be able to do that to be a better person, also go easy on yourself. Taking care of yourself is also a good thing, so do that on some days. Tell yourself you're doing great. If you can't tell yourself, DM us. We will tell you instead. And so yeah, I feel like I hope we can make the next year more about kindness, more about compassion, more about um, selflessness, because that's how we want to live and
Mhm.
someday die. But like, I want to be remembered as like a good human being, hopefully. Oh my god, Jack, if I die, write the best book on me. just
Just based on our 2 years of
just
friendship,
yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
make
Oh,
stuff
can
up.
you imagine? Oh
Mm.
my god.
Yeah, the best
Bestseller.
biography I can possibly pull together. I will. Yeah, I,
You already have like enough pictures of me, like great pictures of me to put on the cover.
I'll. It's just it's a photo book. It'll just be a book of pictures of you.
Yes.
That's the
Here is Tasnia loving Scotland. That's the whole first chapter.
yeah. That's 200 photos. Just that.
And the second chapter is here's Tasnia with a dog.
Yeah,
100
with
pages
several.
gone.
Yep. Oh, that's yeah. I think this has been a really nice long chat about New Year. I think we've
Long.
actually done well though for us. Like I think we've kept it maybe just over an hour, and I think it's been
Yeah.
such a good way to reflect on the last year, to set out some goals, to think about positivity, to just appreciate what has been and what will come ahead of us. And I think it's just like, yeah, I think it's just been a really good it's been a really nice, enjoyable time because I think it's so hard sometimes to
Yes.
reflect and look forward and all of these things when we're in a kind of dark tunnel of what the world has
Absolutely.
been. And
Absolutely. It's
I
very
think,
hard.
yeah, it's just been fantastic. And if anyone out there has found some kind of advice that we've said useful or found some kind of solace in what we've said about the last year, what's coming next, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Also,
uh,
I forgot to add this because of obviously I forget things, but use less social media is one of my goals as well.
okay. Don't tell people that
But
when they're listening
use
to a podcast. I want them to follow me
no,
on social
no,
media.
this is great. Look, okay, use it for like if there's an actual purpose behind me using it. I think social media is great. I think
Yeah.
social media is one of the reasons like I feel like a lot of talk about the project that I'm involved in you know, got attention. Absolutely. When used right, great. But also take a break, remind yourselves that the people behind these social media networks are way, way richer than you and will not share their money with you. And that's just not fair. So, goodbye.
Hmm. Yeah. I think. That was very like Scottish of me, dropping T's, dropping everything. I think that is, yeah. I think that's a really good point, and I think, yeah, a good bit of advice actually is to yeah take some more time to look at it. Goes hand in hand with everything we've said. You don't have to post a photo of everything online that you do.
Yeah.
You can appreciate the world around you without necessarily having to look at a screen all of the time.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and
But also take a lot of animal pictures and post them daily.
yes,
Yes.
unless it's pictures of animals, in which case scrap everything we've said and just do that.
Yes.
But yeah, I think we have done a really nice chat there about advice and things. I guess to wrap up, is there anything you're looking forward to that you have planned or that to do with kind of your role, your director role now? Anything that looking forward that you're excited about for next year that you want to share with the audience that they can look out for from you?
Hopefully, oh my God, that would be a dream come true if it does happen. That the government, Bangladesh government, takes responsibility for most of the program in
Mhm.
the capital city, which would mean that the sustainability factor of the program, is what's the word? Um, the sustainability factor of the program is sort of set, um, and we don't have to worry as much
Mhm.
because CNVR are like catching, neutering, and vaccinating. And then releasing dogs or making the city rabies free or the country rabies free. The program needs to be a continuous thing. And so, really hoping that comes through. And then, hopefully, we're also aiming to work in Cox's Bazar, closer to where the Rohingya refugees are, setting up a clinic there. And if that's possible, then that's great. So, so really hoping that that comes through. Yeah.
That's a good goal. That's a good goal to have. I don't know what am I looking forward to? I have a lot of things going on that I don't know if they're going to happen or not yet. So I'm sure I will update people if and when I get good news about them. But we're keeping those under wraps, so I don't spoil anything or jinx it. Or but um, but yes, I am. Yes, I'm so. so grateful. Thank you so much again for coming along.
Thank you
I
so
think my
much for
voice is
having
going
me.
now. I think you have transferred your cough to me via the internet. I am now like we have spoken for so long that my voice is going, but it has been such a good time, and thank you so much for joining me again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
It's always wonderful.
Oh, and if anyone, last thing, if anyone wants to find you on Instagram, on if they want to follow up, I'm gonna mess up the name. Operio,
Operono. Operono.
I messed that up on purpose. Op,
Opoyarono. So it's
Operano.
Obyarronno. We can link their Facebook page on the podcast.
Yes.
But yes, please do follow them if you want to donate to Operono as if you're outside of Bangladesh, that can happen through TransferWise. So please consider donating to Street Dogs this Christmas. I don't even celebrate, but here I am expecting a gift for
Yes.
dogs, for dogs.
Yes.
So
I think.
thank you.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
and yes, thank you once again for coming along, and I am sure we will talk again on the podcast and in person in real life very
Yes.
soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jack. Bye.
Bye. And we are back. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode, our New Year's special. And thank you, of course, to Tasnia for taking part. There is no one better to have a long conversation about where we have some goals in mind, but we just talk for hours, even though we're trying to meet targets and things. There's no one better to have a conversation like that than Tasnia. She is just the best, and I hope you all gained something from listening to her. I certainly did. And of course, I should also mention, I thanked you a little bit there, but I want to genuinely thank everybody for a second for a fantastic year. I hope you have all had just the best time, and I wish you all a happy and healthy 2022 as well. Let's make 2022 the best year we can. 2021 was hard for a lot of us, but I know if we keep pushing and we keep going and we keep growing and just getting better and better, nothing will stop us in 2022. Wow, this got very inspiring, didn't it? Well, before I go into full TED Talk mode, I should probably start to wrap up. So to do that, I just want to highlight that, of course, we're on all sorts of podcast platforms. So please subscribe and rate us on there. If you would like to say something nice, we would be very appreciative. We will have so many more episodes. We have so much coming up in 2022. I can't process I'm saying that. We're coming into a new year. We have so much coming out in 2022. And so, yes, subscribe so you don't miss out on all of that. I'm so excited for it. New Pangolin episodes, new episodes of something brand new that you won't want to miss out on. So, yes, make sure to subscribe. We will also be on social media throughout the new year, of course. We are at Pangolin Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. We're on Facebook as well. And we are on LinkedIn. On both of those, you just search Pangolin, the Conservation Podcast, and we'll turn up. So, yes, we're on all of these places. So please make sure to check us out on all of those. You can also check out all of the work that Tasnia was talking about, all of the stories, all of the resources that we mentioned in the description of this episode. So please check those out as well. Now, I will wrap up the show because, of course, it is New Year's, so everyone is very busy and celebrating, and I don't want to take too much of your time. But just know that you are all fantastic. You are all wonderful. I am so grateful for all of you in the last year, and I wish you all the very best for 2022. Happy New Year. Let it be filled with love and light and fantasticness. And yes, let's keep going for conservation because, yes, we can do it, guys. We can just, yeah. Ah, going fully into TED Talk mode. Stop, Jack, stop. Right. Goodbye, everyone. Have a happy new year. Bye bye.